And what it is, I'm not going to use bars. I'm going to explain it better. You catch the first one in a quarter position, stand up. The next rep in a half squat position, stand up. And the third rep all the way down. So descending snatches is quarter, first rep, half squat, second rep, and full squat for the third rep. Descending in height. 1/4, 1/2, full. And you can do that from the floor, from the hang, from the blocks. That's descending snatch. Okay, now the drop snatch and the overhead squat. What that is you drop into the snatch position, and then you just do a few overhead squats. And here's another good one. I'll demonstrate this. This is one of my favorites. Power snatch from floor, squat snatch from the hang, or hang squat snatch. Power snatch from floor, hang squat snatch. Power snatch. Squat. That's an excellent exercise there. And for, again, technique, position. I'll demonstrate it again. Power snatch from the floor, hang, squat snatch. Okay, now I've got clean related exercises, and the descending clean is the same as the descending snatch. Quarter, half, full. So 3 repetitions. Quarter, half, full for descending snatch and descending clean. And all the other exercises we've gone over. We have power clean from floor, squat clean from hang. Power clean from floor, hang squat clean. I'll demonstrate that. You should be getting the picture by now. Power clean from the floor, squat clean from the hang. Rest a minute, I'll do it one more time. When you mix these exercises up like that, the athlete really has to concentrate, really think about what they're doing. And another reason for mixing them up is variety. Sometimes you get mentally, you don't want to go to the gym, you're tired of doing snatch after snatch after snatch. So these are variety of little variations. And they help you develop consistent technique. You get control over the bar. Okay. Now we have jerk-related exercises. And the new one here is behind the neck jerk. Again, take it off the racks. And remember to rebound when you catch the ball. Behind the neck jerk, you got to be careful you don't tear your neck up. Got to be careful that you catch it on the rebound. And this is very, very good for someone who keeps jerking the bar out front. By jerking behind the head, you can learn, really get that technique and get the feel for the correct way to jerk that bar right over your ears. Okay, behind the neck push jerk is the same thing, bar behind your head, just push jerk. Bar behind your head, push jerk. one for the people who have a difficult time and just don't know how they're supposed to get that bar off their chest. So you're just driving it up to about your eyes. You want to drive it up about your eyes and down, up about your eyes. And you go, now this, be careful, because you can handle a fair amount of weight on this one, that you're not going to hurt yourself. You don't want to be jerking it out, driving it out front. It's got to come real close to your chin and your nose, which in everyone's weightlifting career, they can hit their chin or the nose on a jerk. And it's just, you'll do it once or twice, and then you'll learn to get your chin and nose out of the way. Okay, that's the jerk drive. Now we've got press-related exercises. Military press, which is, in the old days, that was one of the Olympic lifts, but that got eliminated. It evolved into an Olympic press, and then the Olympic press got dropped from the program in 1972. But the military press is an excellent exercise for developing shoulder and tricep power. And it's just like that. No layback, no knee kick, no hip drive, no up on the toes. Just like that. And then there's press behind the head, military press. You have to take a little wider grip behind your head maybe, but it's the exact same movement behind your head. Press behind neck, push press. Just push behind the head, push press from behind your head. Snatch grip, push press. Widen your snatch grip. Boom. Boom. Okay. And then the snatch grip, push press, and overhead squat. And that's, I'll demonstrate that. Snatch grip, push press, and overhead squat. Push press, and then overhead squat. Snatch, grip, push, jerk, and overhead squat. So one's a push press, the other is push, jerk, and then overhead squat. And this is when you take the weight off the rack to do your overhead squats. Essentially what you're doing is a push jerk. I want you to push jerk the weight and then do your overhead squats. So that's an exercise you'll already have been doing. Okay. Then we've done front squat and jerk. Excuse me, before I move on. You can see we combine power clean and push press. You can do power clean and push jerk with that. Okay, back squat, overhead squat, we've done those. Front squat and push jerk one. I just want to stress that when you do the front squat, there's a few reps of front squatting and then one push jerk. Okay. I want to go over the key coaching phrases and words, but first I want to take a break and catch my breath. So I want to just do a little discussion on this. Okay, I want to go over my key coaching phrases and words. And first we'll start with the snatch and clean and the pull. Now, when you're coaching an athlete, or if you're coaching yourself, you can't think of every one of these things, but you want to dwell on some until you want to really work on one until you get that down and you go to the other. The first one, this is very, very important, is hips higher than the knees, but lower than the shoulders. A lot of beginners, some beginners think they're going to start like this, some are like this, but it's the hips are higher than the knees, but lower than the shoulder. And that gives you a little bit of range for different athletes, different body types can do a few different things, but still, as long as your hips are above your knees, lower than your shoulders, that's the correct starting position. So you might want to just stress that with a beginner. Always say hips higher than the knees, but lower than the shoulders. And once they get that, you say head up, back flat, and straight, arms straight, pull straight. So the hips are higher than the knees, lower than the shoulders, arms straight, back straight, head up, pull straight. Arms straight, back straight, head up, pull straight. If you can get a beginner to do that, then you're up to a great start. Most beginners bend the arms, round the back, swing the bar. Squeeze the bar off the floor. I discussed this earlier. And I tell people it's like shifting gears. You can't start your lift in the third gear or second gear. First gear, which is squeeze. You're just breaking the gravitation pull. So squeeze the bar off the floor. Do not yank. Do not jerk. Squeeze it off the floor. And that's good. Keep the bar close. Another very common mistake. They just don't want to keep the bar close. It's natural. It's one of the hardest things to learn, is to keep that bar close. Keep the bar close at all times. Keep it close to your chest, keep it close to your legs, keep it close to your shins, but don't tear your body up. Some people scrape the heck out of their shins. We don't want to do that. So keep the bar close. High on the thigh. When we say high on the thighs, that means you want the bar right here. If a person tries to explode from here, it's too soon. If you're up into this way up here, it's too late. So somewhere in this area here, high on the thighs, is where you want the bar high on the thighs, and then that's where you explode. High on the thighs. Pop the hips, shrug. Pop the hips, shrug and extend. Okay. The hips, they come forward, but they come forward and up. So that's what the pop. Yeah. Pop the hips, shrug and extend. You want to get as high as you can. As high as you can before doing anything else. So, yeah, pop the hips, shrug and extend. Pop the hips, shrug and extend. Boom. Gotta get this. Boom. And then it's got to be, what I mean by pop the hips, boom, explode. And then, like I say, shrug and extend. As high as you can, get as tall as you can, up on your toes. And that's the next one. Get up on your toes, get up on your toes. So if you see a person that they're not getting up on the toes, up on the toes. Now, if the feet leave the ground, that's okay, but I do not teach and do not think it's good that you jump when the feet come 4 or 5 inches off the floor, because then you've lost contact with the floor, and then you're going to come back down and make contact again, and that could jar your body. It's just not a good, consistent method. You want to, the feet are going to leave the ground just a little bit. So you get up on your toes, and explode. I mean, you have this is hard to, you have to explain something like an atomic bomb going off, or a locomotive train crashing into a brick wall, or, your favorite, Emmett Smith explodes. Barry Sanders. I mean, those are explosions. Michael Jordan explodes. Tiger Woods explodes into the golf ball. And Roger Clemens explodes with a pitch. And Mark McGwire explodes when he hits a home run. So this is where right here it's got to be like an explosion where every muscle in your body just wham, wham, everything explodes. In fact, in the '96 Olympics, Piros Dimas from Greece, he was the most explosive lifter I ever heard. He exploded so much, I thought his muscles were going to come right out of his skin. And there was this explosion that you could just feel it. It was like a bomb going off in his body. You could just feel his explosion. It was so incredible. Move fast. Now, initially when you're teaching, I'm not so concerned with speed because, you can't move fast until you know where you're going. So as far as moving fast, once you kind of know where you're going, then speed is so important. But you got to be going in the right direction. And in a competition, I'll usually just say, you can't go through all of these things in a contest. or when a lifter's going for a maximum. But if there's one thing I'd say to the lifter, pull hard and move fast. Because you've got to pull hard, you've got to put effort, you've got to put energy, you've got to crank on it, and then you've got to move fast. So pull hard, move fast, and concentrate. Concentration is something I tell lifters, just think about the barbell and also don't worry so much about the weight of the bar. Don't worry about what's going on out in the audience or in the rest of the gym or the training hall. Concentrate on how you're going to lift the weight. Not that, my God, this is 200 kilos and I've never done this before. Think about, okay, I've got to explode. I've got to pull hard, move fast. A few things, just a few things. Rack and stand. Okay, this one is sometimes lifters, and this is really clean. I mean, this is the rack. And then, so sometimes a person pull weight and they rack it, but now they're buried and they got to grind it out. Well, we want rack and stand. Rack and stand. Catch the balance. Rack and stand. Rack and stand. So you don't want them sitting in the bottom squat position. You want them racking the bar, getting up fast, because then they have energy for the jerk. If they've got to grind out the clean, then it can be just really having a difficult time with the jerk. They're going to be tired. Okay, stay tight. Now, stay tight refers to any time you're lifting weights. You can't be relaxed. You can't be, when you're, this is for the jerk. You just roll the bar back out of my way. Stay tight means sometimes when a person comes out of clean and they're tighten up. You're not like flexing your muscles like a bodybuilder, but you just can't be relaxed. You've got to take a breath and then tighten everything up under control. Stay tight. And then a lot of times when the person jerks right overhead, tighten up because they're loose. So tighten up, stay tight. So stay tight is a term we use a lot because it's so important in your squat, in your clean, everything. You got to stay tight. Okay, dip and explode in the jerk. You got to dip and explode. It's just, you got to just come out of there like an atomic bomb. Move fast. And then drive with the legs and push with the arms. So that means you drive and then push. So it's everything is got to come into play. Reach up when you're in that jerk position. Keep reaching, but all times, keep reaching until you get the down signal. Reach up. I tell sometimes, shoulders to your earlobes, which is also a good one in the snatch. In the snatch, you've got to reach up, you got to reach. And then push, and keep pushing. When a lifter is here and they're struggling, push, keep pushing. Keep pushing. Don't say, don't let up or don't quit. Say push. Just keep it simple and direct. Push. Control recovery. Okay, the person's got there reaching up, they're struggling, and you say control it. That means just little steps, under control. Control recovery. And hold it. Once you're here, steady. Because you're struggling, hold it. These are key terms for the lifts, and like I say, for the snatch and the jerk. Reach up. Another thing I tell lifters when I start them off, I say there's three things you got to know before you can be a real good weightlifter. One of them is you have to be able to count. When we say 5 reps, we want 5 reps, not 4 reps, not 3 reps, we want 5 reps. Or when we want 3 reps, we want 3 reps, not 3 sets. So you got to be able to count your reps and count your sets. Then the other thing is you got to be able to add. When I say I want 160 kilos, I want you to be able to know what it takes to make 160 kilos on the bar. Or if I want 157 kilos, so you've got to be able to count your reps, add your weight, make sure you get them on correctly, and be able to say, well, that's not too difficult. You'd be surprised. And then the other one, and this is the laugher, I say, and you got to know which way is up, because if you're jerking a weight that's out front, it's going to come crashing down. Up is over the ears, straight up. A lot of beginners, they don't know which way. They're just, don't know where to put the bar, and so it's up. And oftentimes when I ask people that question, they'll go like this, well, that's up. Well, in weightlifting terms, that's not up. In weightlifting terms, this is up. You're reaching up, you're pointing straight up. pointing straight up. So you teach a person right off the bat which way is up, because that's what weightlifting is about. It's lifting weights up, up. Okay, on the back squat, or the front squat, all squats is a better example, for example, we say chest out. You want that chest out because that keeps the back flat, keep that back flat, and the chest is out of the front squat, the overhead squat, and the back squat. Chest out, because if the chest caves, then this will happen, and that's not good for the back. Hips tight. When you're standing here, you gotta keep those hips. This is where your seat of power is where it all comes from. So you gotta, and as you come here, you go hips, 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 hips. Drag your hips, and then push with your feet through the floor. This is something I haven't discussed, but on lifting off the floor, on squatting, people say, "Well, do I push with my heels or my toes?" I say you push with your big toe, your middle, every single toe you got, the balls of your feet, and the heels. You push everything evenly through the floor. When you're pulling off the floor, when you're squatting, when you're jerking, when you're lifting weights, you use the entire foot. That's why it's important that you have a good shoe. So push your feet through the floor. So you're coming down here, you're pushing up and you're pushing down, and then so that you'll go up. Drive with the hips. That's this point here. You're right here. Hips. Drive with the hips. Drive with the hips. Drive with the hips. Drive with the hips. Because you don't want to go forward and use the back. Use your elbows. Coming out of the squat. Flex those elbows. Flex those arms. And push up with the arms and the elbows. Push up. Use every muscle. And when you're doing a heavy squat, you feel like you're going to blow a gasket in your head and you're pushing with everything you got. And some people do. Sometimes people get regular blood vessels in their eyes, or they get nosebleeds, or your head's throbbing when you're done. Use every muscle in your body when you're squatting. There's no finer. That's why it's such a great strength developer, because you got to use every single muscle. Work hard. When you're doing squats, it's hard work. No shortcuts. Squats are hard work, and you got to do it. Be tough. And they're a little painful too. They're not fun. But when we're doing squats in the gym, I say, okay, we're now going to do America's favorite exercise, squats. And that's a big laugh. How many gyms you see? So I've got in my gym, about 7 squat racks, and that's probably more squat racks than on the rest of San Francisco, and all the whatever number of gyms there are. So you've got to be tough to squat. Squatting, going to be a good squatter, and a good weightlifter, you've got to be tough. And keep fighting. When you're coming out of that squat and it's heavy and it's hard, you want to quit, nope. Keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep pushing. And concentrate. Again, and you must concentrate to the absolute, all of your ability to concentrate, where the place could be burning down, but you can finish that lift and then get out of there. Okay. Next, we have the percentage chart here. Like I say, you can use a slide rule, or you can, you can go down and figure your percentages. And I won't go over that. It's easy enough to figure out 95% of everything. It's all right here. Now, I'm very, very emphatic about keeping records of your workouts, so that when your workouts are going good, that's wonderful. But when your workouts aren't going so good, you can go back to your records and see, well, what was I doing when things were working right? And say, oh, okay, that's what I was doing wrong. I was training at a different time of day, or I weighed a little different, or I was figuring my percentages off something. So I have a percent worksheet here. So you can put down your 100% clean, and then 90% of your 100% clean, you'll see here, well, that's approximately power clean. I mean, 80 to 90% of your clean should be your power clean. And then I got jerk, got the jerk, and we got, the most you can lift overhead would be the jerk, and the second most you can lift over the head would be from push jerk, and then push press is even less, and we don't have military press on here, but military press is even less. So this is a guideline for your percentages, and to keep track of and see how you're doing. If your power clean is higher than 90% of your squat clean, that means your squat clean is not so good. And people say, oh, that just means my power clean is really good. Well, yeah, but you should be squat clean more. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe you don't have strong legs. And just like if you're push jerking more than if you're push jerking too close to your split jerk, well then you've got to. This is a guideline to try to have the proper balance and relationships between your assistance exercises and your maximum exercises. and then you can kind of check to see how balanced your lifting is. And it takes a few years to find out and to develop and get good balance. And then I've got sample workout sheets in here. You know, keep track of your workouts. I get people that come to me and they say, well, how much do you know? I said, how long ago has it been since you did such and such? And they don't know and they haven't got it written down. And so I have to start from the beginning with them. And they don't want to start with the beginning. They want to start, they're an accomplished lifter or a somewhat accomplished lifter, and they want to start a higher level. Anytime I start a person on what they tell me, I overtrain them. If I start on what I can see, and if I see their workout logs, the workout books for the past several months, then I can train them more effectively. But every time I train somebody on when they're telling me what they've lifted recently, I overtrain them because they're not quite accurate. So write down everything you do. Write down the date of your workout, the day, and your body weight. And I don't have down here your time of day, but you put the time of day down here, and then write down the name of the exercise, the sets, the reps, the whole bit. And then I have for workout, for competitions, I have a competition form here that you can keep track of. Write down your warm-ups, write down your intended attempts, and then your actual attempts. So right there you got your name of the competition site, the weight class, your body weight. And it's important to know the number of competitors in your class because if there's a whole lot of competitors, sometimes you will do poorly because there's just too many competitors. You couldn't get your warm-ups in, too much time in between attempts. And of course, but keep track of these things. All your warm-ups, your intended lifts, and your actual lifts. I can't stress enough the record, how important it is to keep records of your working out, of your competitions, and it benefits you not so much when things are going right, but it benefits you when things aren't going right. You go back and say, well, what was I doing different now than when I was before? And no two program cycles are going to be exactly alike. You've got to be flexible. You can take a program cycle, the 8-week cycle, and program 6 and 7, do it for 8 weeks, and then do it again, and try to do the same percentage, the same weights, and it just won't work. Our bodies goes through different cycles and different things that happen in our life which throw our training off. But you've always got to try to do your best and stay as close to the program as you can. If you vary from a little bit, don't worry about it. I remember when I first started training, one of my first coaches said if you had a nickel for every bad workout, he'd be able to drive a nice expensive car. Well, nowadays with inflation, I tell them if I had $1 for every bad workout I've had, or some of my top lifters have had, I'd be able to drive a fantastically expensive car. You can have more bad workouts than good workouts, but the good workouts and the good competitions make it all worthwhile. So that's the information, that's the details, that's what went into making this manual and this videotape. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that it improves your lifting, and I am available for give me a call if you have any questions, if you want any explanations. If you're in San Francisco, stop by the Sports Balance, and if you bought my manual or my videotape, then you'll get a free workout and a free training session with me. But call to make sure I'm in town. Well, good luck, good lifting, and like I like to say, weightlifting is fun. Lifting heavy weights is more fun. So let's have lots of fun. Thank you. Good training.